And then I started the recording.
Oh wait, are we on the air? Shit.
Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, hello everybody. Welcome to the 4th edition of the Mansion Radio. I'm your host Tommy, and I've been living at the mansion for over 2.5 years now.
I'm so sorry.
Yes, that's why I look so pale and so thin. And next to me joined my good friend and amazing DJ Nate, aka Nasty Nate.
What up, what up, what up?
Welcome, Nate.
It's good to be here. Week 2. Yes. Electric Boogaloo.
So how was your week? Yeah, your week in between?
Fuck, dude, you know me, man. My weeks just keep getting crazier. So, let's see what happened this week. We had a couple of birthday parties at the restaurant, Ragin' Cajun, located at 35 Yongjialu near Maoming-lu. Shameless name drop. I think the best one was Saturday. I think I've got another topless video for you this week. I was pretty drunk and flirting with a table of young ladies, and they made the mistake of telling me that it was one of their birthdays, so I proceeded to remove my cap and my t-shirt and sing a very sexy birthday song for them, which of course got recorded. So I'll let you guys watch that, or don't if you value your eyesight.
Go! Music play.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
This is the best.
Happy birthday, dear Joanne. Yeah. Happy birthday.
High five.
This episode we will showcase Nate's obscure music class, this time a little bit earlier in the episode because
that was so fucked up last week, man. Like, it was like you guys like played the whole intro like leading in, and then the dude starts singing, and it's like, all right, thank you for that, that's great. So this week, because apparently y'all motherfuckers have ADD, so I have a much shorter video clip, but I'll introduce that shit later. Or should I introduce it now?
No, let's do it later.
Okay.
So later we're gonna have Nate's obscure music class, Mansion News and Weekend Flashback. We have an interview with the German DJ and producer Florian Bo.
Florian Bo!
Yeah, he says he had one gig at where was it? A gig at Tresor, and this made him decide to focus full time on music.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Florian, man. He's a good guy.
Before we start our regularly scheduled program, let's turn our thoughts to the terrorist attacks in Paris last Friday. Our support goes out to the 130 people who got killed, their family and friends, and all of those who got injured. I'm afraid this attack will lead to more fear and its next step in the polarization of Europe. I just heard France last night did a cooperation airstrike with the US on ISIS targets in Syria against the Islamic State, while at the same time Europe is dealing with Syrian refugees. Yeah, Nate, I feel the world is getting crazy.
It's getting fucked up for sure, man.
The Paris attacks made me dig deeper into the SIS, the conflict in the Middle East, and I found my main interest in digging out who are benefiting from this attack.
Yeah, so what did you discover? I'm curious to find out what you learned.
So, of course, firstly, the people who benefit from this are the extremist rightist groups and political parties in Europe who will use this to feed hate in Europe and gain more political power. Secondly, also pretty logic, is that the extremist Muslim groups in the Middle East, they will get much better from this.
Yeah.
Because this kind of attacks, more and more Muslims living in Europe get alienated from European society and they will radicalize.
Yeah.
Hence being potential new recruits for the SIS.
Yeah.
And then also I was digging on the internet and I bumped into the aggressive response of USA President Obama. The USA is a third party who benefits from this horrible attack. Let's take a quick look at Obama's Friday night speech.
Yeah, let's take a look.
I just want to make a few brief comments about the attacks across Paris tonight. Once again, we've seen an outrageous attempt to terrorize innocent civilians. This is an attack not just on Paris, it's an attack not just on the people of France, but this is an attack on all of humanity and the universal values that we share. We stand prepared and ready to provide whatever assistance that the government and the people of France need to respond. France is our oldest ally. The French people have stood shoulder to shoulder with the United States time and again. And we want to be very clear that we stand together with them in the fight against terrorism and extremism.
So the reason why I want to show this video is, because the response of Obama is so aggressive. Like he say, we stand prepared to provide whatever assistance the government and the people of France need to respond. But I don't think they need assistance to respond. They need assistance to make everything cool down. They need assistance in bringing solutions. And also he talks about France as the oldest ally, and the French people have stood shoulder to shoulder with the US time and again. Ally standing shoulder to shoulder, it all sounds like a war speech. I think this is only gonna do more harm. If America is gonna be involved in this way, then it's gonna do good.
If I could just put in a word here real quick. First, I'm inclined to agree that, answering violence with violence is not the answer, although the knee-jerk reaction may very well be to be outraged, to be righteously angry at what are clearly unacceptable acts against innocent people. But answering violence with more violence is a vicious cycle, and there's no end to it. Someone innocent always gets hurt and then gets disenfranchised with the other side, and it's a very polarizing process. And if you look at the history of the Middle East, they've been at war with each other in one form or another for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And it's due to this cycle of answering violence with violence. We as a society, and especially as a quote-unquote civilized, advanced culture, need to start thinking of new solutions to problems. And even if one side is violent, we need to find an answer that is not violent in response.
Europe has nothing to do in the Middle East, so they shouldn't go there. If people from the Middle East all the time would go to Europe with air missile attacks, of course, after a while you become really angry, you're gonna hit back. It's not really strange what happened, that in the Middle East they start to hit back more and more after years of being attacked in their own country by Europe and by America.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a mistake for us to start messing around there in the first place. We've clearly been throwing rocks at a hornet's nest, and now we're starting to get stung. To a certain extent, we have to deal with the consequences of the situation we've created. That being said, that's still never an excuse for innocent people to get gunned down in a nightclub by people whose agenda is to create an atmosphere of fear and terror. That's never okay.
Yes. Totally agree on this point.
It's a shame. It's just a shame. I really hope that we can advance as a global culture to the point where war is a thing of the past and violence is a thing of the past, and we, it's like Star Trek, where we look back at our previous barbaric selves and ask, how we could have ever been so base as to engage in physical violence against each other. And I hope that we get to this point before we wipe out our race as a whole across the planet. We'll just have to see.
Okay, it's time for...
So on that note... It's time for another episode of Obscure Music Lessons with your host, Nasty Nate. Alright, so last week I attempted to introduce my favorite underground band from the US, Ween, and you guys, I guess, saw what their intro music looks like. Didn't really get into the meat of the song, so this week I've chosen a shorter clip so that hopefully you guys can see everything. I would like to introduce another stage performer who is my current personal hero as far as improv, music, comedy, and the coordination of all of those things together goes. He is a guy named Reggie Watts. He's a military brat. He moved all over the U.S. when he was growing up. I think he's about 50 years old now, but he has the youth and vigor of someone half or less his age, but the wisdom and intelligence of someone his age. He's a very unique stage performer. He has a very unique appearance, as you'll see in the video. He's a very portly, big-boned black guy with a huge afro and an awesome beard. He loves to wear... Hey, let's keep it clean, Tommy. All right, I'm nasty. You're not. He likes to wear really weird sweaters. I think in this video he's wearing an awesome golf sweater. And he does live beatboxing, which he puts into a looping machine, and he creates a 4-track loop of different elements of him beatboxing, and then sings and raps and does spoken word over it. And he's a very talented singer. The interesting thing about his music is none of it's pre-written, so he's coming up with a beat on the fly, and he's coming up with lyrics on the fly, and he's putting together his stage performance on the fly. And to me, it's just brilliant.
Okay, so this first song that I'm going to do for you, this is a song that comes all the way from Australia, where I'm from, and I want you guys to really give it up. This goes out to all the Joeys out there, the kangaroos, all the wallabies, the bilbies, all of those. Okay, so here we go. Come on, yeah, come on. Sometimes 85,365 people and stuff led by doing this fast advice. Get mad broke, in my zone to be out to underwear. It's my underpants and my trousers shits. For the guess if I wanna figure out like the fast around like a freaking I say, so my love at the pants of a glass of milk. Bells on face, so we never the pants, I'm gonna get some comes to the if I'm the big duck off my bracket, the top like a dungeon by typical woman fucking because you're what? To what? Put your hand in the cookie jar. 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 Put your hand in the cookie. Put your hand in the cookie jar. Yeah, come on, yeah, yeah.
So let's take a look at what's going on at the mansion.
Yeah.
So right now the first floor is being prepared for a big artwork by Marijn Kavelaars from the Netherlands. He will make the entire first floor, the walls, the ceiling, the toilets, the bar, the DJ booth, all into a big artwork, and next week more about this.
Yeah, I haven't seen, it looks like he's still working, but based on what I've seen so far, man, it looks awesome. I love the new purple color on the walls. I love his particular style of painting. It's like caveman drawings. It's so cool, but there's intelligence and humor behind it. You guys will see when you come in. So far I've seen like an awesome gecko, a bunch of like people with egg heads with ball gags. I think I saw a transvestite with saggy tits. Fucking great, man.
Yeah, I think his style really fit the mansion.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. Keeping it saggy at the mansion.
Last weekend we hosted 2 parties. On Friday it was Tech House Night by the Taboo Crew, and on Saturday Hard Tech by Eat My Beats. And you can listen and download for free the Basement live recordings on www.pyromusic.com and www.shami.com, and type the mansion and you will find our account.
Oh, how convenient.
Yeah, well, I thought if you are promoting your restaurant, it's also time for me to do some obscure promotion.
Yeah, well, not so obscure. I mean, this is directly related to the mansion, so yeah, for sure. I'm going to check those out. Now, do I have to make an account on these sites to be able to access your content, or can I just go there and find it?
That's a very good question. I will come back on this next week.
Okay, so if any of you are investigative reporters out there, your assignment this week is to figure out, do you have to make an account on Shami or pyromusic.com in order to listen to the mansion's live recordings? The reward is more cheese.
So yeah, let's listen to my interview with Ivan Barbero, founder of the Taboo Tech House crew.
Nice.
Okay, with me in the studio is Ivan Barbero, a really good DJ and a very good producer from Spain. He's the founder of Taboo. Ivan, why did you found the Taboo party in Shanghai?
Well, thanks for the introduction. It was very kind of you. Well, basically, I personally didn't find that many places that were playing this kind of music, or the music that we play, which is more deep and tech house, but more like what we listen in Spain or Ibiza. I just needed to have something that recreated that atmosphere, that spirit in Shanghai. Of course, now there is more and more, but when we started we had maybe one club in Shanghai that will do that kind of music. Yeah, we just gathered like from coming to the mansion. I think we were one of the very first people coming to the mansion when you guys first opened, and then we like the ambience, we like the atmosphere, we like the club, we like the people that was working here. So we thought it could be a really good cooperation. And then once we were kind of ready, we put together a team of 4 people, like the 4 founders, I would say. And then we started. We're still here.
Chinese people, how do you want to attract them to also enjoy and understand this concept?
Well, that's a complicated issue. We do have a history in Europe of electronic music that they obviously don't have here. And introducing the stage at what we are in Europe or in the US into China is tough, because they didn't have that transition from the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, 2000, and then we're trying to get, and there is a lot of Chinese talents, we're trying to promote, of course, in Chinese sites, but besides of the promotion, I think we are trying to reach a point in which the music could be a little bit more fresh and flexible to get Chinese people that will never or that didn't listen to electronic music before into this. And then on the other hand, unfortunately for me, as I always say, the best introduction for these kind of people is the commercial EDM. That's why these places are packed, because it's much more easy to listen, right? It's like pop music mixed with some electronic foundation that it makes it easier for them to get introduced into the electronic. On top of that, I will say that as well as that in Europe might work, or in the US it might work against the underground scene, I think in Shanghai it will have a positive impact in a longer future, because that's an introduction that might shift people from the EDM into the underground.
Get ready!
You remember the first time you came to the mansion, what you thought?
Well, first time I came to Mansion, I didn't realize that was going to be that good, because I thought, well, just go to a similar club in Shanghai, and I did not realize that it's going to be that outcome of where I was going to be, and it was just way beyond my experience, way beyond what I was expecting to.
And what about you? Well, first thing is I didn't expect mansion to be a literal mansion. I expected it just to be the name of a club. So that was amazing. Secondly, I'm really glad that it's run by people who live here and operate here, and this is their life, and this is their artwork, and this is how they express themselves, and that's just amazing to me to see. And it's not just a money grab. It's a life work. It's fantastic.
Nate, you got 20 seconds to respond on this.
Alright, so fucking first chick, Jesus Christ. Have you ever seen that video on YouTube of the surfer describing the sound of describing the perfect wave? She totally reminds me of that girl, or guy.
Oh, it's just like, dude, you get the best barrels ever, dude. Just like, you pull in, and you just get spit right out of them, and you just drop in and just smack the lip, whoop-ah, drop down, snap, and then after that, you just drop in, just ride the barrel and get pitted, so pitted like that.
I'm here in the studio together with Florian Bo. Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah, welcome to the mansion. Like Florian Bo, old music director of the mansion.
Yeah.
MIDI Electronic Festival 2013.
Yes. Right? Electronic stage music director.
And DJ of the year trophy also, right?
Yes.
For the mansion.
Yes. Which year? 2013 also, right? Yeah. My only trophy so far. Yeah. And the old friend, I mean, I'm not old, but a long-time friend of Rainbow and you. When I saw this radio show last week with Nate, I thought like, okay, I also want to be on this radio show. And then if Nate, this motherfucker, can do it, I also want to do it. No, sorry Nate. No, but I thought like, okay, I mean, many people ask me like, you are Florian Bo, you played in Tresor, right? And how was it? And I thought maybe if I have something to tell, I have something to tell about this, because it was really an amazing experience, and it really changed my life in some way. Like, it was just crazy. I mean,
In what
It's
way?
not- you cannot put it in words. Like, I mean,
Let's try it here for the radio show.
okay, let's let's try it here for the radio. I mean, in general, I started DJing 10 years ago, like more electro style, and then when I went to Berlin the first time, I ended up by accident more or less in Tresor, and when I came into this club in the basement and a tunnel, like a 20 meters tunnel with a running light, like on a airfield, and you hear mostly like the bass and the music, like you can just imagine what's going on in the room, but you didn't reach it. And then it's just flashing light and people go crazy and it's fucking hard techno and this energy what you feel then. There's no yesterday, there's no tomorrow, it's just a moment and this actually brought me to techno and
You told me you play for Tresor. It was a really amazing experience.
And yeah, we were playing for Joey Beltram from New York as warm-up DJs. And I had the honor to open the basement, and I played for 1.5 hours, and I was just playing, and the people came, and after half an hour, suddenly I was like looking on the dance floor, and it was full, like completely full. And then I was like, okay, now we could switch to a little bit harder music, because I mean, I'm here okay for playing a warm up, but I'm also here to fucking play techno, like what I love to. And then I started to play harder, and suddenly the people just go insanely crazy.
Around half a year ago you decided to focus completely on producing music. You quitted your job.
Yes, actually I had a daytime job before as an engineer, and yeah, that's actually was the reason why I came to China or to Shanghai, but I quit this one because I never had the feeling that I can give 100% for the music, like really, because since March I was working on my production skills, and yeah, just now on the 9th of November I brought out my first release on the Underdub label from Portugal. It's called Keeps the Pressure, and I'm quite happy with it, and yeah, so far it's going good. And the next EP is already ongoing. It's almost finished actually.
Man, I gotta say one thing, man. Those German dudes, great senses of humor, man. I loved how lighthearted that interview was.
Yeah, well, you know how Germans are known in Europe, right?
Well, how?
As the people with the best sense of humor.
Wow, rest of Europe is fucked in that case.
Yeah, so that was it for this week, Mansion Radio. Thank you very much, Nate.
Wait, did I say thanks for being here?
I don't know.
Thank you for having me. Keeping it fucking confused here at the Mansion. Good night, folks.